You're watching 33 Burning Questions, Chillmonger, The Jaded Fanboy, Back of the Bus, The Dre Max Show, SSJK. Sanctum. Why is Captain Marvel 2 being delayed? That movie was supposed to be in July. It's already been delayed once before, and a lot of the precautions and lockdowns and whatnot
because
moved
Flash
things.
is going to destroy it.
Hey,
I don't. I don't
because
nobody's interested in a woman-led comic book movie. That's why.
Well, okay,
guys, stop. We got to talk this through.
Okay, because chill, hear me out. During the summer, nobody want to hear Brie Larson complaining about white dudes and stuff again. I don't want to hear her complain about white dudes during the summer. So if she can do it during November. No, I don't even want to hear that shit during November. That's given.
What time would you like to hear Brie Larson about white men? Go ahead. Tell me. Let me know.
Probably April. That's a dead month.
April. I can just imagine K-Dot has a schedule. Okay, bitching about black people in July. Bitching about white people. No.
I don't want to hear
about gay people. February.
But it looks like they probably just delayed it because I mean, look at Flash comes out in June. The Marvel, it's too close. It's too close. They got to get out the Flash way.
I don't even think it has anything to do with even DC. I believe Iger is really like, let's let this thing marinate again. You know what I mean? Let's let it marinate. Let people go to the movie because after this, we got Secret Invasion, then we got Guardians. Let these movies marinate again. Because again, as a fan, I remember we're seeing Infinity War, and I had to wait a whole damn year just to go see Endgame. It marinated. I got it. The anticipation got better. I don't think it has anything to do with DC. Iger is like, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's do what we did best to get these fans here. Let's go back to that and let these things kind of marinate for a little bit to get fans more excited.
Nico says that they're trying to introduce the Blue Marvel. Now, if they are indeed moving the movie just so that they have enough time to introduce new characters and stuff, they got to work on the CGI for that character and that powers. It makes sense to me for why things would be moved. I remember that when Henry Cavill was supposed to be added to Black Adam, things were moved there. There's a history of this. There's probably there's going to be changes to this film. We know that they had some sort of like meeting during the Christmas break to reshuffle things that they were up to. So there are going to be changes made to Captain Marvel 2. And that is why it's not going to happen in July. And it'll happen in November where they have enough time to get things right. The Bob Iger thing of now we're going to spread things apart. Now that's our mentality. Maybe they realize maybe things will sell more if they miss these Marvel movies rather than 3 months apart for this. Like this, 3 months apart, eh? We had Multiverse of Madness in May. July had Thor. November had Black Panther 2. I guess more than 3 months. But then it goes to
every couple of months.
Guardians. Yeah. Take a little bit of a break. We haven't seen the trailer for Captain Marvel 2, so it won't be awkward the way that Black Widow. We had the trailer, and then we had the final trailer, and then they said final trailer after next.
Final trailer part 2.
So to piggyback off of what Dre Mac was saying about Iger and his restructure, I definitely think that's more so the thinking. I think he might have been forced into that as well as it aligning with his thinking on how to reduce. What up, Perp? Right.
Yeah, I was just listening to the whole show when I figured I'd pop in it this time.
You want to tell us that they're scared of Blue Beetle?
No, but I honestly think
I think it's expensive to promote these films. I think it's getting increasingly more expensive to market and produce these films. Where they were just doing 4 in a year and they lost well over $100 billion. I think it's time to maybe slow drip this stuff.
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, bolster, let it marinate, let people sit with it longer so the anticipation builds. It aligns with what they need and what they want.
Right. I think.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it's simply that they want to put Secret Invasions first. That's going to lead right into the Marvels.
Why do they decide that now?
Yeah, at the last.
I don't know because it was. I don't know because I figured Secret Invasion was going to come out before the Marvels, but and we still got the X-Men too, so they probably want to put those two out before just like kind of.
So Rogue will be in Captain Marvel 2, and she's gonna take her powers.
I don't know.
No, you said the X-Men.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about the 97. I was talking about the 97 series, the animated series. Like they probably want a lot of those other shows and like the Marvel Zombies. Like those will fill in that little gap between
That
like
was rumored though. The whole
Guardians.
Rogue arc with Carol Danvers was rumored to
It was
be
rumored.
what was going to be Captain Marvel 2.
And it's wanted by every fan who's read comic books. When I think about when I think about the marketing and it's expensive to market, not if your channel plays football games and you own ESPN and ABC and all that.
That's a good
There are
point.
no football games in July. There
Thank
are
you.
in November.
Thank
So
you.
that might be a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
At the same time, they don't have to spend that much money on marketing. It's the Marvel universe. We all know the movie exists. You don't have to sell it to us.
But that goes back to that word of mouth and that Marvel shit we were talking about. It's not what it used to be. You know, you can't just stamp the Marvel like Craig Feige said. Just get close to the comic books.
But that is true because it's like people say Marvel fatigue, but people are still packing these theaters. So
there's
it's
a
like,
lot of fans. There's a lot of fans. You put the Marvel logo in the beginning of the movie, minimum 7 out of 10. That's it. Minimum.
because it's like if
it's just not what it was in 2018.
Well, no,
because-
not 2018.
because like regardless of how people feel about like Phase 4 or whatever, like coming in, like people are still going to check it out regardless.
Yeah.
The same can't be said about DC right now because DC is kind of like people are like really wishy-washy with it.
Yeah.
But it's like I just don't think there is. I think people are getting kind of tired of the Marvel formula, but they're not getting tired of going to see a Marvel movie or watch a show.
It's
I don't think that's ever happened yet.
Yeah, it's relative. They're not DC level
Mm.
shit, but excuse me, sorry, but they are not what they were at their peak. They have shown a regression, right? And they've given up market share. They absolutely have. Whether it's to Amazon or Netflix or whoever, they've given up a bit of that market. So it's not what it used to be. They can't just lean on it.
I also think that we also as fans play a part in it as well. It's like I think people are also impatient because like we always I think people are always expecting Endgame, Avengers level type of like movies or TV shows every time, and that's not just what we're going to get every time. Like it's going to have to build up.
Right, and expectations is one of the reasons why a lot of people didn't like Multiverse of Madness because they had this expectation that all these people, Wolverine was gonna come out, and then Cyclops, and all of that didn't happen. It was like, you suck. You know what I mean? So it's really expectations. That's on the fans. You want to
part of that though is also the concepts that you're doing. You start telling people you're dealing with multiverses and variants and timelines.
Right.
They expect bigger and better.
And Mark,
it's a give and take. What you give them is what they're going to expect.
And Marcus, bringing it back to Ant-Man, like with the titles and stuff. At least we got a lot of Quantum and a lot of Mania. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
More so than like Multiverse of Madness, where we just went to like one other universe.
Exactly. Exactly.
But the reason
be bouncing.
The reason there's so many high expectations is because a big cottage industry is people making, here's my theory of what should happen, or here's my theory of what could happen. So now all of a sudden a person, instead of nobody had expectations for Iron Man 2 because there wasn't 10,000 videos going, here's my expectations of what should happen or what the villain should do or who the villain should be. So now you got fans who go into these movies and going, well, according to what I've been told, this should be in this should be here. This should be
but
here.
Even that is a circumstance of your size. You don't have that without it being insanely popular. You know, you've created like a sub economy based off of what you create. You don't get that unless you are insanely popular.
Cornelius adds that Secret Invasion went through months of reshoots too. Didn't know that. Then there may be a reason, and things will be better. Because the only reason you would reshoot one and reshoot the other is because there's going to be attachment, which has been missing in Phase 4.
Yeah, but didn't the first Suicide Squad movie go through a lot of reshoots too?
Everything goes through reshoots.
Everything
goes through reshoots.
But like extensive reshoots, from the way Cornelius says so, it sounds like there was additional reshooting. Then he said something about Den of Nerds and New Rockstars. Channels I would say subscribe and like because I don't mention other people on my channel unless it's to say nice things. Usually, there's the odd moment you might catch me slip up, but I'm not about that.
That's what the rest of us are for. That's what the rest of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we have no problem mentioning names.
I'll hold my.
I'm sorry, what?
Like a certain person from New Rockstars, I don't mind mentioning his name, but he is who he should not be named right now.
Yeah.
Like,
He who shall not
be named. Yeah, that's who he is.
Oh, are we done? Are you finished? Are you done?
Oh, you done?
Are you done? Are you done?
Are you done?
Is there one more question?
One more
No.
question. Come on. It's supposed to be 33 questions. It's in the title.
That was
I
32.
skipped like 7 questions.
Yeah, but at
we
least
can
give
do
us
the last one.
33. At least give us 33.
You want one more last question? The
Yes,
33rd.
33 questions. The
One more, you gotta
33rd.
do 33.
What do you take away from the post-credit scene of Quantum Mania? So I'm
A
not
lot.
talking. I'm not just
one.
talking about the end credit, the one with Kang and all the different various versions. After those credits, after those credits, it was a scene from Loki, and Chillmonger says that's because whatever you were gonna put, you changed your mind. So you're like, oh, let's just give them a clip from the show we already filmed. Here, guys, enjoy it.
I don't believe that.
Well, they did it for Wakanda Forever. They pulled the original scene there.
Dr. Doom scene.
The Dr.
Yeah, they cut out the Doctor Doom scene for the
Yeah.
Loki scene.
The
That's
Fantastic Four were probably going to be in this one too, and things are being reshuffled.
I was thinking
But-
Fantastic Four for sure.
Well, since we got Victor Timely and Kang actually went into his time, the time energy portal, the machine, the MacGuffin basically was a way for him to travel in time. So this is just a theory. I could be completely wrong. I think he went back in time when he got sucked into that machine.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, that's what I
that Victor Timely is Kang.
Kang.
Is Kang. And
Yeah.
that's why Loki was like, oh, snap.
That's why he was tripping. Like, yeah.
Because think about
boy.
because think about like at the end of Loki, like the statue looks just like that Kang that we seen in
Mhm.
Quantumania and stuff. Like he got the same suit.
Conqueror King.
It was the same as the exiled one in Quantumania?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same suit.
Yeah, that was Conqueror King suit.
Yeah.
And
so-
you already know the number one rule of movies, like if you don't see the body, he ain't dead. So it's like
no, that's the number one rule in comics.
You know, in anything on TV. or
usually,
movies.
yeah.
Or
If you
even
don't
in
see the
movies,
body, they ain't
too.
dead.
Oh, okay. I just
remember
know that from comics. That's
In
true.
Prison Break at the finale, some dude I thought died in season 1 was back all of a sudden.
Back.
Mm.
One of those cops.
You mean like how Kang was killed by the ants but still survived?
Oh,
Something
Lord
like that.
Jesus.
I thought that part was funny. I'm the only person dying laughing at that part.
Oh, I was
That-
laughing. But not
That was a
staring
great
in the
part.
movie. So
Like
it
I
was
just
scary.
remember in my head, they're like, okay, this is the new Thanos, and he's getting dogpiled by ants.
That's why-
Hilarious.
That, look,
but you
look,
got to
that's-
know who's doing that though. That's the OG Ant-Man. That shit was
OG
dope,
Ant-Man.
man. That was
Right?
dope, bro.
I
They
wish they
gave
would
it.
let my man Hank put on a suit. That's what I wish they would let him do. Everybody
Yeah.
fight. They even had Michelle Pfeiffer's elderly self out there sliding
Elderly.
around. She doing jump kicks, cutting off arms.
I
My
see.
boy Hank,
But he was
Pym
posing.
got his
He
arms
was
in the
posing.
ooze, driving
Come
the
on.
plane.
That's
Like
why.
Hank
That's
was
why
posing. At
Marcus.
At
Marcus.
the
I
end of
never.
the movie,
Mark-
at the end of the movie, when the ants were there, he was just posing and strutting and going, "Yeah, that's right. I'm bad. I'm
Yeah.
bad. This is me."
I think he much would have wanted to get in the suit and actually kick some ass. That's
Well,
why he was
and
at
then,
the premiere
well,
talking
and that's
about,
why
feel
I
like
never,
Biden in
I
this
never
movie.
understood the reason they never put Hank Pym in Avengers 2 because they had rights to that character. He could have been the first Ant-Man. Like it was no reason why he should have not been the first Ant-Man.
But honestly, having Michael Douglas, especially following Michael Douglas' career for all these many years, have him grizzly old Hank Pym that doesn't give a crap is perfect. It is literally perfect. So I'm
I just
not
wish
mad
they
at
did
it.
more with some of their elder statesmen, actors like Lawrence Fishburne, Michael Douglas. They had Glenn Close. They've had Anwar Candy. They had Forrest Whitaker. They're just not doing it. They had Bill Murray in the movie for 5 minutes. They had
But that was awesome though.
$5
But that was awesome though. You cannot say that wasn't awesome.
The Bill Murray part.
The Bill
Oh,
Murray
God.
part was awesome. That
No, they didn't
because
do
it's-
anything.
That was-
He was there and gone.
Never come back.
did the Bill Murray thing because of what happened with Grandmaster in the Thor movie. They went, "Hey, let's replicate that character, that goofy character." Type
But
thing.
I like that he didn't. Well, they could have honestly traded the whole Freedom Fighters thing and give us more Bill Murray thing. I wouldn't have been mad about that. But
It was
I wasn't mad about
little
his
tidbits. It was hard to focus on any one thing.
But it's also because Bill Murray had whatever thing he had going on.
With
You know what I'm
Janet.
saying?
Now, it was funny. It was amusing. For
Yeah,
sure.
no, I'm talking about in real life. So there's probably not trying to get. He has some kind of allegation or something going on prior
for real?
to. Yeah, so I don't think they was trying to give him. And plus, the character he was playing literally is a panel character. If you understand what I mean by that, he was a panel character.
Yeah.
So it was
Why he
perfect.
dies at the end.
Yeah, I mean the guy dies in the comics anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
I mean, I definitely understand why they have spending problems because I know that didn't come cheap.
No.
So I definitely get it.
Not Bill.
That was question 33 about what you took away from the post-credit scene. We barely talked about it, though.
Council of Rick,
Nothing to be quite
To
honest.
comment on it though, does it make you even a little bit more interested for Loki season 2?
Yeah, most definitely, because I was like, we're actually gonna get a story here, and not a bunch of like just walking and talking. Because like all Loki was like up until like Kang was like introduced was just a lot of walking and talking.
You mean
That's
you mean
all
up
it was.
until-
You mean character
You mean up until
development?
the last half hour of the last episode of the last?
Yes, that was the
Well, I'll just say this. I'm excited to see Jonathan Majors play different Kangs. I'm just not excited for the Conqueror, who's supposed to be the main Kang that we follow. Not him specifically.
How you what?
You mean a Kang that has the power to manipulate time and space, but doesn't actually manipulate time and space? You mean that character?
I was definitely expecting him to freeze time at some point.
But it's
was
tech.
expecting
He only did it once with Janet when he stopped her so he can walk through the door.
Was
and
he
I
freezing time?
He did that to that chick with the spear too. He did that shit with the chick with the spear too.
Yeah.
Like he stopped that
Was
and
that
like he was about
freezing
to.
time, or was
No,
it
he did.
telekinesis?
It was telekinesis. He wasn't freezing time because after that, and his tech got broke, he couldn't do
Yeah.
any of that.
Okay,
and
yeah.
he was this regular guy after
That's what I
that. So
thought.
Technically, he did bend space because he teleported into the room where the portal was.
the portal, yeah. But
Right.
Which
all-
doesn't make any sense because when the ants were attacking his shield, if you can put, if
Why
you
didn't
can
you just
teleport,
leave?
why didn't you just teleport? Well, then he wouldn't have been defeated by ants. And then
just personally for me, I think Kang should have just straight up offed Scott Lang.
I
The
thought
rest
he
of
would
the
have died.
live, he gets
I thought
trapped,
he
and
Yeah.
also
But he said I needed you, but he should have killed him right after like saying.
He-
Kang should have got a body on. Because if this our first and him getting beat up by the, because look, I'm like this.
He can get beat up though, man. He just got dragged away.
This
Like he really just got dragged away.
this
No.
this specific Kang has fought many Thors, many X-Men, many he fought. Now, Thor would have easily one-shotted all them ants. You're telling me this guy killed many Thors? No.
He lost to Janet. And
Well, we also
Scott
got we also got to keep in mind that he's not as full power.
full power. Thank you.
No. He
I'm
got
talking
his
about-
armor back, and he had enough power to be able to establish the technology necessary to create the empire. If he may not, what his full power is, the movie is vague in what that is. That's the
But-
problem.
But that's good because remember, we got introduced to Darth Vader in episode 4.
Right.
I mean, even that was when we go to Empire Strikes Back, that's when he's like really at his full power.
But
and
you don't see
Yeah,
Vader
but that's
not
bested,
fair.
and you don't see him bested early by
Yeah.
a lower.
That's not
competitor.
fair.
But
because
you
George
do
Lucas
when
didn't
they're doing the TIE fighter when they're doing the TIE fighter scene in Star Wars. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So you do see him get kind of bested in Star Wars, the original movie. It's Empire Strikes Back. It was like, damn, he's dope. Just like how you do in the Revenge of the Sith. We got. I mean, I ain't even mentioned the first one.
Yeah.
The second one, you know what I'm saying? You start to build the character, and
Right.
then you make them just as dope as possible in that later movie. So
I
give him the
agree.
intro-
33 burning Star Wars questions is happening next week.
So I'm just saying, give it some time. Pun included.